that they can't take care of themselves, and so they need a helpmeet. And
Well, let me stop you there because you might get some pushback from that. Ways that they can't take care of themselves. They certainly can
well,
and
can,
do all the time.
but
That's why we're in the state
they're not,
that
but,
we're
but
in.
not in a fulfilling
But,
manner. You
well,
know,
okay, well, let's stipulate something. People are called to different things. And there are men and women who are called to be single, and
that's true.
men and women who who are married who are called to be childless. So I want to make it real clear here that we are not in any way talking about a state of marriage or child having or childlessness. We are talking about a state of heart that says that rebels against being a woman and what that truly means, or rebels against being a man and what that truly means.
Right.
That is, or rebels against being a wife or husband or family and what those things truly mean. That's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about singleness or.
Everybody's situations are different.
We should have said that first.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We talk
You're
like
such a caveman.
I am. We talk like we talk to each other, and in fact, that's exactly what we're doing. We just happen to have headphones on, plugged into a computer.
We look really professional.
We do. So we apologize if we don't. If some of these things are kind of right off the shot right from the hip.
So, well, why don't we get back on track now that we've offended two of our 6.5 listeners, or possibly more than that. Who knows? Maybe all of them. I don't know. So what we wanted to talk, we just kind of want to give an overview of where we'll be coming from in these two segments. We've discussed them some, but potentially a lot of what you might hear will be new to each other too. So pardon us if we rabbit trail. We've established though that we think that a focus on biblical manliness and biblical womanliness is something that should be intentionally done. And again, just to make it clear, it's not about studying the Bible or getting close to God so that you can be a really good wife or be a better mother. The fact is that if you're not a perfect wife or a perfect mother, you're not perfect in all the other ways too, and that's what we're shooting at here, is the well-rounded Christian.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I think for men, especially, single income family men that go out and they earn the sole income for the home, making sure there's a proper balance. Going to work. Yeah, I'm guilty of it. I go to work and I drive an hour each way to work, and I come home and I want to flop and sit down in the recliner. And my kids haven't seen me all day, and they want to run around and play. And I've got a couple hours, 3 hours with them before they go to bed. And I tend to be lazy when I get home. Sometimes I want to eat dinner and then relax. So, but a lot of people miss out on that, and I'm guilty of it. But I'm with my kids all the time, and I'm engaging with them, and I think that's important too, to have an influence on your children. So your daughters, have expectations of somebody when they get married, and for your sons to learn, and they're going to learn whether you're a good teacher or a bad teacher. They're still going to learn what you teach them. So that role is definitely important, and I need to be, me personally, I need to even be more active than I am. But that's important. I think that's a lot of that's a lot of the reason we're in the state we're in.
Mm-hmm.
That young men are in a weird way because there's not been enough manly presence in their lives
Hmm.
to
Well,
rub off on them.
you've got groups that focus on the subtraction of fathers from the family, and you've got groups that focus on the subtraction of mothers from the family. And what you don't hear a lot of conversation about is the fact that this family itself is what's gone. You know, moms are at work, dads are at work, or living somewhere else. Kids are at sports, clubs, school, and then they go away and, you know, they've just lived a whole life, you know, of spending a couple hours a day together, maybe, in some cases.
Yep.
And how much time do some children spend with their fathers? I know that when I was growing up, after my parents divorced, my dad actually lived about 6 miles down Warwick Boulevard, and we would go months without seeing him sometimes because he was just, busy or whatever.
Yep.
And we saw our fathers a lot more than some children, or our dad a lot more than some children see their fathers out there, and so.
Yep. And for a young girl, that's old enough to know things, and
Yeah, I knew a thing or two.
um, that's it leaves them. A daughter leaves her confused, and
Yeah.
just what kind of man
Well,
am I to expect? Am I expect this from?
I don't want to be a pill or anything, but there wasn't a whole lot of teaching going on before the divorce.
Well,
But yeah, obviously, it's a big lack, um, and it just has to be faced. It's hard for some people to face in a world where we grew up with girl power. I don't know if you guys heard those air quotes, but they are in there. They're stark and in bold. Um, that there are roles to play, or not play, but to fulfill, and that there are differences in that women are physically weaker, and God has, well, I think I'll go at it from this end. God has graciously and in His mercy, and most importantly, in His great wisdom, provided women and children with husbands and fathers as a covering. And you've got to think about what that means. What a covering is for. It's protection. And it protects, it provides warmth and shielding, and in a lot of cases, a covering will identify, the covered as being, part of a particular set of things, family, whatever.
and that's what Jesus is to us,
Exactly.
to all of us, and we're supposed to emulate Him.
Exactly.
as
You
as
are
man,
as a husband and as a father,
the
and
bridegroom.
as women in our fervor for girl power, we're rejecting that. We're rejecting a covering that God has given us, and we're rejecting an image of Christ that He
Chauvinist.
Himself has provided for us. We're saying we don't need it and we don't want it, and we're all paying the price. And I can say this. I said in the first episode I was a single mother, I even with Bisky here, I worked part time until, how old was Pumpkin when I stopped working?
2-ish.
Yeah, so
Two-ish, maybe 3.
she's 6 now. So I'm not a woman who came out of high school and got married and then has just never worked a day in my life. I've waited tables. I've worked in offices. I've not seen my children for more than a couple hours a day, and I've done all that thinking that that's what life was supposed to be like, and that was what I was supposed to do, and I was miserable because I was failing. and the reason is that I was being lied to and told that I could do that successfully, that I could absolutely have it all. And so when I couldn't have it all, it couldn't be that that wasn't true. It was that I wasn't good enough to manage.
Scratching and surviving. Good time.
Right. It wasn't good times at all.
Right.
And so I can say all this, having been on all the points of the spectrum. You know, married with children, divorced with children. You know, married with more children, working with children, working with a husband and children, working as a single parent, working, part time, staying home, sending kids to school, to public schools, staying home and homeschooling.
Yeah.
I mean, no one can say that I'm a hypocrite or that I don't know what I'm talking about. So you have to take what I'm saying, and you can come to your own conclusions, but you can't blow it off.
Single mother ain't easy.
No.
Yeah. I
You
lived
can't have it all,
with
y'all.
my mother. My parents divorced, but
I'm
my
not
dad
lying.
was always there, so I didn't really lack him in my life. I lived with mom, and things changed. And they got divorce was a hot thing when
Yeah.
we were kids.
Yeah,
Seemed
it
like
was.
I was weird. I can remember in elementary school hearing people their parents were divorced. Oh my gosh! And then it
Yeah.
happened to me. It's like, oh my gosh! And then it's like, wait,
Next thing you know, yeah.
no, none of y'all's
Who
parents
lives
are
with their
married
dad?
anymore.
Nobody.
And then that morphed into,
Nobody even gets married.
yeah, marriage. Why?
Right.
Just
Yeah.
Just,
And
it's okay to sleep around or whatever, and I'll have kids, and then I won't stay with her because for one reason or another we just don't get along,
right.
and then where's Dad? They're
It's
not
at
married.
Hoss's.
Yeah, right.
It's Wednesday.
That's true.
No, it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Well, then
Ball
who
game
knows
on
where he
somewhere.
is? There's a ball game. Yeah.
Too bad RJ's
Buffalo
still
Wild Wings,
open.
probably. So, yeah, I don't know. And I was not a single mother by choice. So we're not, down in single moms or anything. Really where I'm coming from is to let you guys know that if you're out, if you're one of them and you have that feeling of falling and of failing and, you see these women in magazines and on TV and whatever, and they're presented as like women who have it all and it's all great. It's not. That's not true. None of that stuff is true. These are women who pay a lot of money to therapists. These are the women that prop up the pharmaceutical antidepressant industry.
Ooh, yeah.
You can look up those statistics on 40-something career women and that kind of thing. And you can say I'm a jerk, but you can't say I'm a liar. It's true. And I think that all of that stuff goes to say that the idea that you cannot be happy being your husband's wife and your children's mother is a lie. And the idea that you can be happy paying someone else to do those things for you while you go out and get paid to serve other people that you're not related to is also a lie.
Well, I'm so glad I don't know what it's like to be a woman and to to be at home raising kids and schooling them and teaching them and raising them. So I know it's trials, but I'm so glad you feel that way because I don't know how that feels, but I know it's got to be trying. It's it's a job that never stops. Where you're always on duty, but that in itself brings me so much joy because I know my children are being taught well and they're well cared for and cared for.
Oh, I didn't even notice. You should have just kept on going, Biscy.
I know I should have, but